Okay, so we're going to look at cones. So we're going to look at how to find the volume of a cone and how to find the surface area of your cone. If you just look at the picture there, that's a picture of a cone. As we spoke about in the cylinder video, when you find the volume of a cone, you actually find the space occupied within the cone. So if you think of ice cream in a cone or something, like the volume of ice cream inside the cone. And your log tables will have your formula just written as 1/3 pi r squared h. They're stuck together, meaning they're all multiplying by each other. We should know that at this stage. So if we give this one a radius of 4 and a height of 8, and it simply asks us to calculate the volume. We know our units for volume are units cubed, not to forget that. If they ask us to calculate the volume of that cone, it's really straightforward. So we'll have 1/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by r squared, which is a radius squared, which in this case is going to be 4 squared, multiplied by h, which is our height, which is 8. So go to your calculator and you literally just punch that in. So sometimes they could ask you to give your, so we'll just say it's 2 decimal places initially. So the volume of that cone is going to be 134.04 units squared, because they don't say centimeters or units cubed because it's volume. Okay, but sometimes they'll ask you to give your answer in terms of pi, and we should know how to do that from the previous video. So if we did that, you just SD on your calculator and you get 42 2/3 pi units cubed. So it depends on which format they want you to answer in. In every exam question that you get, always ensure you've answered what they've asked you. So whether they say to 1 decimal place in terms of pi, 2 decimal places, or whatever, nearest whole number. So volume is very straightforward. So now to look at surface area. Right, so with surface area you have 2 different things we have to remember. We have to remember that in our log tables, when they tell us the area, so this formula here, A equals pi r L, that actually only represents the curved surface area. But oftentimes in exam questions they'll ask us to find the total surface area. So you have to remember there's 2 different things. So if we just, I just want to click in here. If we just look at this cone here for a second, so the 3D shape here. The curved surface area of this cone does not include that base, because that base is just flat. It's flat based, okay? So the curved surface area includes all the top of the cone. And it makes sense, like it's the curved area, the curved surface. So in our log tables, as I said, it will just say A equals pi r L, and that means the curved surface area is equal to pi r L. So pi is self-explanatory, or obviously stands for radius, but now we have a thing called L, and if we look at our diagram over here, we actually have no L. But what L actually stands for is the length. Okay, and this here becomes our length. So anytime they ask us to find the surface area in any way of the cone, you know you're going to have to calculate what L is. So if we just look at the shape we have here, so that's our height, our radius, and our L. It's after making a right angle triangle. So as we said before, our height was 8, just from the example we used before, our radius was 4, so we'll use the exact same measurements. And we have to find our L. So it's a right angle triangle, so this will be our hypotenuse. Our opposite and our adjacent don't matter because there's no other angle. Okay, so we're looking to find our L, so we don't know what L is, or our hypotenuse. So we'll have our so in this case it's our length squared is equal to our opposite, so I said that was this side, so that's our height, plus our adjacent, which is our radius. Okay, so this will enable us to be able to calculate the value for the length. So our length, we just call it L squared is equal to, our height was 8 squared plus our radius was 4 squared. It's going to be L squared is equal to 64 plus 16. L squared will be equal to 80 and L will be equal to square root of 80. Now if you put that into your calculator, like on the Casios, I've only a sharper, on the Casios it might simplify that into third form, but it's okay if we just left it as our length was root 80. So we know that's nearly 9, almost 9. So in our diagram we can write that now. So L is equal to root 80. Okay, so once we know the measurements for L, we know our measurements for R, and we have pi, we can calculate the area of the curved surface area. So we'll do so. So the curved surface area is equal to pi times R times L. So that's pi times our radius we said was 4, and our length we calculated was to be root 80. So if we put that into our calculator and we say to one decimal place this time, so pi by 4 by square root of 80 to one decimal place will be 112.4 units squared, because it's area. If they had asked us to give our answer in terms of pi, we just SD that answer, so that you know the drill. This calculator isn't great in comparison to the other one. So that's our curved surface area. So if we want to think about the total surface area, so total surface area, so we have all the curved surface area, all that part up there, and we've excluded the base. And as you can see from the base there, it's a circle. So in order to find the total surface area, you're going to just have to add on a circle to your formula. So total surface area, remember in the cone we had 2 circles because the top and the bottom. In the cylinder we've only one, or sorry, in the cylinder we had 2. In the cone we have only 1 circle, it's just the base is a circle. So our total surface area will be pi r L plus pi r squared to represent that circle at the bottom. So like your pi r squared is your circle and pi r L will be all this section here. So in order to do so, it's going to be pi times 4 times root 80 plus pi times 4 squared. And you'll input that all into your calculator. And we go to one decimal place again, 162.7 units squared again as its area. And that's pretty much it. That's like your simple questions in cones. So they literally ask you to find the volume, find the curved surface area, or find the total surface area.